Hey guys. I am exhausted, but you are here to find out the answer to the question, is college harder than high school? And I can safely say, as a pre-med biochemistry major, that on a scale of 1 to 10, the difficulty of college is currently at a 12, because math. I am making this video because compared to my freshman spring semester when I was taking 20 credits, even my current 17 credit load has been mind-bogglingly challenging because of the difficulty that these classes like organic chemistry and physics have presented. And yeah, just seeing it seems like so much more work than the previous year. And I want you, if you're interested in pursuing a pre-med pathway, to understand the increase in difficulty from high school to college, which it definitely does exist, especially here at Carroll College where I attend, where they will push you to your limits and then push you beyond your limits. And it is currently the grind. We have just about 2 weeks after coming back from Thanksgiving before finals. I am finally able to film this video because of completing this past week, which I think will set up the stage for the challenges that I've been going through recently. So let me get right into it. The last 5 days, Monday through Friday, I have had to go to sleep between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. each morning. And that is me with an ROTC morning career where I have to wake up at 5:30, 4 out of those 5 days for physical training, the PT exercises. So I've been getting a solid 4.5 hours of sleep the last week because of these assignments, which some would say, oh, well, you just procrastinated and you didn't complete them last weekend. No, I was working all last weekend too. And the reason why is because as I'm trying to get ahead on assignments, I have to make the hard choice of whether I'm going to complete this assignment, which has a deadline of either 10 p.m. or midnight, or should I study for this exam, which I'm taking this upcoming week. And this past week I had 2 exams, Wednesday a statistics exam and Friday an organic chemistry exam. And seeing that on Monday I had a chemistry achieve assignment, which are basically homework problems online. I had a stats lab, which I started working on, and stats homework problems, what we call web work. I had other various military history assignments that I had to read and do a reflection on. These little assignments just add up and become very time consuming when then knowing that I have these deadlines I have to have them done by, but I also have an exam Wednesday. So that's why on Monday I was preparing for my stats exam Wednesday. We were able to create a coding reference sheet because most of the exam was on code through R, which I really struggle with, so I was having to put extra time there making sure I understand the code. And then continuing into Tuesday where I had our lab. We had a physics lab due Wednesday, and this really just screwed up the rest of my week's kind of time management because the physics lab, which I thought wouldn't take long, ended up taking us a cumulative like 10 hours. And it was due Wednesday at 5 p.m. when our lab period was, but Tuesday when we were getting stuck on these problems for how to calculate the standard error for the uncertainties and other problems, which the math seems like it checked out, we're getting them wrong. So we ended up staying up till 12:30 in the morning that night getting our physics lab done for the next day. And that was something that completely messed up my schedule for my exam Wednesday for stats. So I stayed up just a little longer trying to get my stats prepared for. Got that done. The exam didn't go too hot, but it was mainly because a part of my code didn't work and I couldn't answer the questions if my code didn't run. So there's a problem there, but made it through Wednesday. And then knowing that my eyes were now set on the organic chemistry exam Friday. So I started studying for that while also having some physics assignments due beforehand, a stats lab that would be due Friday night, and other military assignments again. So trying to manage getting those assignments done while also trying to carve out some time for studying was, I think, a dilemma a lot of college students have to face is, are you willing to sacrifice study time to complete assignments that are due, or are you going to delay those assignments being turned in and focus primarily on your exam because that has a higher weighted grade than your other? And I tend to choose to complete the assignments and sacrifice some studying time just because I get a sense of accomplishment from completing them. Whether that's the smartest academic choice for my overall grade is debatable. So that is, again, a question that you should ask yourself, is should I sacrifice one or the other if I have to? And which one would you choose? Either studying time or assignments completion. And then going into then Thursday, the day before my organic chemistry exam, starting to feel that some kind of onset fatigue that had been accumulating the last couple days, and having to go to bed again 12:30 that night, and then wake up, get ready to take that exam. I go in, take it. I think it went well. I'll have to check soon because my grade should be in about now. And just having that relief, but also the fatigue going into that was just excruciating. And then now being here the day after that exam, being able to reflect a little more on this past week, I really asked myself, could I have made my time management any better? And I struggled with that question because besides like filming a podcast episode Monday, doing a small group Monday, having a few moments for, say, watching YouTube or eating dinner, I really didn't have at all free time that I thought I could have been more efficient with my time. And that was something which, even in the most challenging times of high school, I definitely still had time for a lot of the kind of extra activities that come with the time that you find valuable. And so right now, this past week, I've really found just all of my time being devoted to studying, to completing these assignments, and really having little to no free time at a new level. Just excruciatingly small amount of so-called free time. And that brings me to the next question then, is how do you manage time better? And so there's some that can say, well, you're more efficient if you procrastinate because then you know you have a deadline, so you're going to complete the assignment faster and be more effective with that, versus trying to stretch over your assignments over a long period of time and then work at them slower because you're like, oh, I have time. So it's another question I face with, because if I try to start an assignment the weekend before when it's due, not till the week after the next weekend, then that weekend I'll be like, okay, I can kind of work on it, but really not be fully committed because I have the next weekend. And then that workload accumulates, and then you're stuck with this huge workload that then the deadline is coming up really soon. So you try to be more efficient, but then you get stressed, and then your sleep fails, and then it can be a chain ball effect for your overall performance. So just returning, is college harder than high school? If you're in a difficult major, it definitely should be. And I say that very deliberately. It should be harder than high school. If it's not, you should really be asking yourself, why are you there? And I think that's, a question we should all ask ourselves is, where should our time be devoted in college? Should it be for free time or for studying? And of course there's a balance there, but seeing that it is more challenging, I think it's also more rewarding. Whether it prepares you for the real life of the rigors of, say, medical school, where I'm going to probably have that next level up of having less time, not being able to divert time to other studies. Like I'm in ROTC, of course, sports for the track and field team. I practiced twice this week. We took pictures one night, and then I had podcasts, and a small group. So we had those activities that are involved in college, which in medical school often I won't have those. So maybe that will free up more time in that facet of my life. But in college, knowing that we are very multifaceted beings and we have a lot of different activities going on, you really have more time than I think you might think you do. And I've had to realize that within myself too. So just seeing where I'm at, the Thanksgiving break which is coming up is extremely needed, because the last month has just flown by with the pace, and really just set that college pace level of like, test here, okay, week off, test here, week off, test here, assignments, projects in between, just bam, bam, bam. And right when you get to catch your breath, you're like, okay, break. So Thanksgiving break, and then 2 weeks right into Christmas break and the winter long 35 days, I think Carol's length is, after finals. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But seeing that these last few weeks of exams going into it, so I'm exhausted. So yeah, I hope in a way this video is helpful, kind of off the cuff, trying to really piece together what the sacrifices you must make in college are looking like compared to, say, high school, whether activities or other free time activities have to fall to the wayside in order to be able to focus more directly on your increasingly minute amount of time that you have precious set aside for you, is something that is quite important to think about. So with that said, I am definitely saying this because of Thanksgiving break, ad meliora, toward better things, Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and I'll talk to you next time.